Hey there, we're back again reading Medicine Walk by Ardith Mayer. Yesterday we read chapter 11, and in chapter 11, Burr Henderson is still trying to find civilization in Arizona, trying to get across this desert, trying to find some life form to help him. He has decided that in order to make it on this journey, he is now basically out of water, he is out of food. The sun is glaring down on him. The only thing that's going to keep him going is just to turn everything off. His feelings, his emotions, that things hurt, that his body hurts. He's going to just try not to think about basically anything. He's imagining himself as a robot, just trying to get to where he's going. And that brings us to chapter 12, The Trek of the Burr Bot. It was a strange way to travel, or to exist, for that matter. I felt as if I might be once more several feet above myself, looking down on the dusty boy with stumbling feet and pounding head. Once I had cut myself away from the things my physical body was trying to tell me. My mind was cool and clear. Once I had had one of those radio-controlled little planes. This was kind of a lot like that. I'd send the signal down when I noticed an obstacle in the road. Body, bear right at the big rock, or there's a rattler to your right, behind the melon-sized stone. Keep left. The body down there would obey, and I didn't have to live inside the thing. But I knew it couldn't last forever. Even Nachito couldn't run things from up above for a very long time. With one fringe of my mind, I knew that body down there was losing fluid at an alarming rate. By the time this day was over, I'd be a dried out husk, lost in the rubble of some canyon, or lying on some mesa for the vultures to quarrel over. But I'd have died trying. There was a lot of satisfaction in that. Dad would be proud when he came to meet me. Mom would quirk her mouth in that crooked smile of hers and tousle my hair and say, "Good show, Robert Burr Henderson." It would be fine. I only had to keep myself going to that point. I kept losing my reference points. Going up and down and around kept getting me behind high places where I lost them. I'd come out of a canyon and look around and the sun would be in the wrong quarter of the sky. If I didn't keep my wits about me, I was going to get turned around and miss my goal entirely. It was late in the day. I hadn't dropped yet. I was still trudging along when I realized that I wasn't stumbling and scrambling. I was on the side of a mountain. To my left was a sheer drop. To the right was a weather-gnawed cliff. And beneath my feet, I stopped and stared. It was a road. Well-defined road. Not paved, of course, that would have been ridiculous, but there were double wheel tracks. At some time, a grader had come along and cut a flat shelf into the slope. The sun was down and had been for some time now. There was still light in streaks across the valley. The shapes of peaks to the west were outlined in shadow on the lower ground on the ridges rising beyond. It would be dark soon, but now I had something to follow. Roads went someplace, and that was their only reason for existing. My legs buckled under me, dumping me down into the dust of the road. I came to myself with a thump. All my aches and pains came back at once. There wasn't an inch of me inside that didn't hurt. Outside, too. My heart was thudding fit to burst my chest open. Everything turned dark behind my eyes. Was this it? after I'd worked so hard and almost made it? No! I shouted. My voice wasn't even a good croak, hardly more than a whisper. But I passed out anyway. It was pitch dark when I finally came to. I checked to make sure I still hurt. That meant I wasn't dead, and struggled up to a sitting position. There were stars up there. The moon, rising later every night, wasn't up yet, but I could see a bit. I tried to stand, couldn't. If I hadn't been any weaker after I'd had pneumonia and been in bed for weeks. My head was spinning, and I sat still to let it stop. While I sat there in the darkness, the cougar's tawny face rose up into my mind. It seemed to be smiling a smug cat smile, the whiskers twitching a bit, the forehead wrinkled. Then, with a purring growl, it winked out. I heaved myself to my feet. I knew which way to go, for once. Downhill on that road. It had to lead into the valley that I had seen earlier. I had to stay on the road or fall off the edge. There was no alternative. I lifted one heavy, cooked hamburger foot and set it on the track. I lifted the other and pushed it ahead of the first. Another step after step, I shoved myself along the road toward whatever waited at its end. That is the end of chapter 12. We'll find out tomorrow if this road leads to somewhere and where does it lead to, and if Burr makes it. Have a great day.